Living a life of crime and debauchery may seem like a good idea, but the reality is that life on the Lamm just isn't that fun, and I'm guessing that most of us would be caught before we made it out of our hometowns. That's where video game escapism comes into play. Through the wonderful medium of interactive video games, you can live the life of a hardened criminal without getting thrown in the clink. Here are the 10 best open-world crime games. Number 10. Scarface, The World Is Yours. Scarface is considered not just one of the best gangster films ever, but one of the best films of all time, so it's no surprise that a video game based on the film would make an appearance on this list. The story acts as a hypothetical sequel to show what would happen if Tony Montana survived the climatic battle at the end of the movie. The game is fairly repetitive, preventing it from ranking higher on this list, but it's still a fun time playing as the fabled crime lord in this what-if scenario. Number 9. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. An Assassin's Creed game might not seem like a contender on a list of open-world crime games, but Syndicate is the absolute exception. It focuses on twin assassins who dive headfirst into the criminal underworld of Victorian London in order to topple a ruthless Templar leader. Because of this, Jacob and Evie Fry are forced to toe a line between low-life criminals and honourable assassins. Sometimes these goals align, but not always, forcing the twins to make a lot of questionable decisions that test their devotion to the creed. Number 8. Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs is another game that might seem weird on a list about games involving criminals. This game is all about social justice and trying to fight an immoral system. However, the main characters throughout the series have to live outside the law in order to accomplish their goals. Almost every single mission involves breaking some laws and evading authorities. It's important to remember that even when the characters are trying to do things for the right reasons, they often operate outside of the boundaries of the law to get the job done. Number 7. True Crime New York City. True Crime New York City is a game that straddles two worlds, which allows it to claw out a spot on this list. On the surface, it's more of a cop game than a game about criminals, but its story makes for an interesting contrast between the two. The plot revolves around a former gang member with a legacy in crime who tries to rectify past wrongs by becoming a cop. However, his connection and ties to the criminal world play an important part in the story, making it as much a crime game as it is one about the police. Number 6. The Godfather. Besides Scarface, The Godfather is the other game on this list that's connected to a popular gangster film. But unlike Scarface, The Godfather has a much more intricate story and compelling characters that make it worthy of ranking higher on the list. Players take over an original character with an original storyline that often crosses over with the main plot of the film and its characters. This allows fans of the franchise to view it from a completely different angle while also having the freedom to pursue their own criminal career as a mobster. Number 5. Sleeping Dogs. Sleeping Dogs is a great open-world crime game because it highlights an area not usually focused on in the genre. The Triads and other international crime rings make tons of appearances in America, but it's rare for games to focus on Asian gangsters on their home turf. Sleeping Dogs does just that, taking players through the criminal underbelly of a neon-lit Hong Kong. Plus, the game has a very stylized combat mechanic that makes it one of the best in the genre. Sadly, there's still no sequel. Number 4. Mafia. There's something inherently special about the 1930s and their mobsters. The Prohibition created a fertile ground for gangsters to do their business, and it's surprising that games haven't taken advantage of this time period more often. Mafia does it extremely well, as it focuses on a fictional crime family in a great fictional city. The player controls an original character who rises through the ranks of the criminal underworld and ultimately falls. The fact that the game takes an open-world approach to its gameplay makes it all the more special. Number 3. Red Dead Redemption. The Red Dead Redemption games are a little different than others on this list, and not just because they take place in the Old West, a time and location that's sparsely used in games. The Red Dead Redemption games are unique because they put players in the roles of outlaws. Although an outlaw is technically a criminal, the main playable characters in the series have very strong moral compasses, and that puts them on the wrong side of the law even when they're not necessarily being bad people. Number 2. Saints Row. Saints Row is definitely in a league of its own when it comes to open world crime games for a number of reasons. First off, the game started as a way for players to build their own gang and challenge other rival gangs to control the city. This alone was a great way for players to embody the role of a hardened criminal, but in subsequent releases, the series went completely off the rails as a sci-fi and fantasy epic. But it always remained true to its core, as its criminal main characters always did their dastardly deeds outside the confines of the law, even when the head of the gang was the President of the United States. Number 1. Grand Theft Auto. There's absolutely no denying which series pioneered the genre of open world crime games. Although Grand Theft Auto existed before its sandbox style of approach, it was Grand Theft Auto 3 that really put it on the map as the landmark crime game experience. It caused such a controversy at the time of its release that it catapulted the franchise to the forefront of the discussion. Ever since then, every installment of Grand Theft Auto has shown the industry what a true open world crime game looks like. And that is our list. Of course, there are plenty of other great games that could have made the list, so go on down below and share your suggestions. While you're down there, hit the like and subscribe buttons and give the bell icon a ding so that you're notified whenever we've got new videos for you to watch. I've been Chris, you've been gorgeous, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, cheers my dears.